So I've gotten to know you, some of you guys. You got to know me, so I'm comfortable enough to talk to you guys. I'm trying to get my camera adjusted without the tripod falling on me. That would be nice. Alright, so let me tell you what I'm going through right now. It is exactly a week before the prom, and there is no dress that I've seen with my own eyes. From what I'm told is being made, that the lady had to go get another pattern because that dress she originally made, no, it's not going to work. And yeah, if you see the video before this one, there was a slight exaggeration. Because I literally cried. I did cry over that dress because it wasn't anything. I'm going to do a side by side. Excuse me. I'm going to be all over my nose. I'm going to do a side by side of the actual dress we wanted, the actual dress that was made. And you tell me if you wouldn't have been in tears. I'm only going to show the top half because I didn't get a long silhouette of the dress except for it laying on a table. And you really can't see the asymmetrical of the damn skirt. Okay, so this is not even why I came to make this video. I mean, that's partly why. Because this prom is coming up and it has added stress to my life, right? And I did not think it was going to be this stressful. But not only is it stress to my life, you guys have to realize that this is the beginning of the end of my daughter's childhood. That's how I'm looking at it too. Because when I was her age, I was pretty much on the street, didn't have anyone in my life, didn't have much friends, and really didn't have anything to look forward to the next day. Didn't know what I was going to eat, where I was going to sleep. That was my life at her age. And then I met her father, and my mental state was I didn't have anybody in my life. I didn't have anything to look forward to. Why am I still here? You know what I'm saying? God, bring me home. That's where my mental state was at 17, 18 years old. I did not want to be on this earth any longer. And I was a very suicidal, depressed teenage girl. I met her father, and he was kind of sort of like my knight in shining armor. I could say he saved my life. Because not only did he take me out that funk, he put a smile on my face, he made me smile, he introduced me to a whole other world, because he was in a singing group and he was on Power 99 FM, and he went worldwide, like East Coast, which was worldwide back then, like singing with this singing group that him and his friends created, which he was the leader of. He was the one who told you what note to sing and all that. Like, that's when I met her father. And to be in that world and to come from where I was coming from when I was alone, I decided that I love this man. I'm going to give him my virginity. And I promise you, like the first time we did it, I got pregnant. I lost my virginity. I got pregnant. And I don't ever regret giving him my virginity. Because where I was mentally, it could have been worse. Like, I was almost raped a couple times, and it could have been worse. And I could have had a horror story to tell you how I lost my virginity. Because, like I said, attempted rape. Because I fought my ass off on a couple occasions that were friends and uncles and brothers of my friends. Uncle and a brother of two different friends of mine tried to rape me on a sleepover. So, tried, because I'm a fucking fighter, and it wasn't going down. And plus, my thighs lock. When I lock them, they lock. And thank God I had that technique. A lot more females need to have that technique, and I wish that you did. Was nothing getting in between them thighs. I locked them, and I fought, and I pushed, and I did what I had to do to get out of that situation. But anyway, that's a whole nother video. That's still not why I'm bringing you this video. I am going to miss the hell out of my daughter. Because listen to me, Senior prom is the beginning. After senior prom, she's going to Wildwood for a weekend. Yes, my mom put $400 down, reserved a room for her and 7 of her friends, her date, and 6 of her friends to enjoy Wildwood from Saturday to Monday. So 3 days, 2 nights in Wildwood. And we reserved the room. My mom reserved the rooms. Like, we did all the research and seen how much it was going to be. I did not know my mom was going to reserve them rooms. I thank God for my mother and that she's still in my life. My mom had no one raising us, and she pretty much did it by herself. And like I said, when I was 17, I had no one, because I ran away from there because I thought it was going to get better when my dad got a restraining order put against him and he had to stay away from my house. I thought it was going to be better then, but me and my mom's relationship was not good at all because she didn't understand. She's a white girl from the suburbs who was raised a different way, who can count on one hand how many times her mother put her hands on her, how many times her dad hit her, and she can count on one finger of how many times that happened to her. One finger. I couldn't count how many times I got my ass whooped dealing with a crackhead not getting his crack. You know what I'm saying? She doesn't know how it was to be a teenager, and when you finally get this man out of my life, out of my sister and brother life, you expect me not to run with this freedom? I ran with that freedom. And now I look back and said, damn, me and my mom should have did it together. And she's mentioned that to me, like, damn, when when Dad left, I thought it was going to be me and you, because I was the oldest in the house, even though I had an older brother. He had been out of the picture. My phone is going off because I wrote this Facebook status about exactly what I'm talking about right now. Alright, I'm still going off subject. I'm just telling you the basis of why I was not in a good place. And when I got pregnant with my daughter, she was literally a gift from God. Like, all 3 of my kids are a gift from God. But you don't understand. Not only she was a gift for me to save my own life, for me not to think that I would be better off dead. She was something to live for. You feel what I'm saying? So she was a different gift. It was like God was like, oh, you don't want to be here anymore? Now I'm going to give you a reason to stay. And I will always look at my daughter like that. See, I'm about to get emotional. And it's starting to hit me that the prom is a week away. And as strong as a person I am, y'all know I'm a strong ass bitch. And this hurts me to the core because we've been homeless together. We went through so much together. And I know there's more than one parent going through this. And I'm taking it harder because I was emotionally shit. And I got pregnant with her. And I was happiest in my life to have this little baby to live for. This is real shit. Like, this is real life. This is reality TV. No script. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And to know that she's going on prom in a week. And then in less than a month, she is going to be 18 years old. And then 6 days after that, she graduates high school. And then 3 months after that, she goes to Penn State. Excuse me. I need a cigarette. Because it's almost like I've encouraged her, I've raised her for this moment, for this year, for this to be happening, for her to go to college, for her to have a career, a life, for her to travel before she settles down to have a family. This is what I want for her. And I still see that little baby in my arms that gave me a reason to live. And now that little baby is going to be 18 and in college and 2 hours away from me. And as much as I wanted this, reality is starting to set in. as much as we worked for this, as much as I want this for her, and she sat there and said, no, Mom, I want to take a year off. She wanted to join a company in Philadelphia called City Year that is a mentoring program where you can go mentor youth, pretty much. You can clean up Philly. You can deal with suicidal kids, with kids with learning disabilities, and mentor them for 9 months. City Year would pay you $900 a month and help towards your college tuition. So she was really thinking about doing that for 9 months before starting school, because she said she was not ready to go to college. So this mentor program entailed her filling out an application and her making 2 different essays of 300 words apiece, and her getting recommendations from teachers and professionals at her school. She only knew 2 recommendations. So one of her recommendations was Miss Smith, and she is like she's almost like a counselor, but not really. She's above a counselor. Like, she actually went to school, got a degree. I'm not saying that school counselors don't have, you know, credentials, but it's just like she's on a higher level. So she went. Shayana and her have been close. I've sat down, I've talked to this woman, and she's thebomb.com, and she is someone that you want your teenage daughter to have in school to go to. Trust me, she's real. She will tell you, get out of her office before she smack you and everything else. And I appreciated that from her. So my daughter's first recommendation, of course, was going to come from her. They are really close. And she went to her office and she told her her plans and her joining City Year and all that. I was going to allow my daughter to do it, because if that is something she wanted to do, I didn't want her to stop her doing it. And it's a great program. Like, we did a lot of research on it and all, and she was a part of City Year and went to overnight camps and all that stuff with them when, you know, in her lower grade. So it's a good company. So I really wasn't going to mind her going. Miss Smith was like, get out of my office and come back to me when you got some sense. Shayana went back to her office 10 minutes later, and this woman was like, no. Because people get lazy when they take a break, even though it's a good program. And I know my daughter, she would have still went to school. Like, if I ever thought that she would get lazy and not want to go to school, and she started making money and started seeing that she could make money and not further her education, I wouldn't have allowed it. But I know my daughter, and I know she would have still, after that 9 months, went to school and did what she had to do and did her 4 years. And I was thinking, you know, they're going to get $5,000 a year towards tuition and $926 a month. You know what I'm saying? For a couple hours a day, and then she could work and stack money, get her bank account build up, you know. Miss Smith wasn't having it and told her no. She kindly got on the phone with Penn State. On the phone, on the spot. And there was no turning back from that. So, you know what I'm saying? My daughter is going to Penn State. And I was like, you know what? Good. I would have been with you either way. If you decided to take the 9 months off, whatever. But I'm glad she is going to school in August. I am. But that does not mean that I am not going to cry like a baby. I am crying now. Wait till I see my daughter dress for prom. I will be crying. Wait till I see my daughter turn 18. I will be crying. Wait till I see my daughter graduate high school. I will be crying. Wait till I see my daughter off to college. I am going to faint, pass out, and be in the ER. Trust me when I tell you, I am a strong-ass female. But when it comes to my kids, I am a straight sucker. I will cry my eyes out. I don't like when they get hurt. I don't like when somebody hurts their feelings. I don't like to see them in pain. I don't want to see them struggle. I want only the best for them. And to know that it's really happening. And then I have 9 more years until my next one goes through this. You know what I'm saying? I have 9 more years. So me going through this for the first time, and me being with, see, I was in a different place with my older daughter though, because it was just me and her for the first 8 years of her life. It was me and her, my mom and my sister pretty much raising her. Yeah, so it was just me and her. And then I met Darnell, and we made this family. And his two youngest had him around, this whole time. She didn't have that father figure until she was 8 years old. She didn't need it. Look at the girl that I raised. And I can't say it was by myself, because my mom and my sister been there the whole time, helped me care for her, mold her, and raise her. So they're going to take it just as hard as I am. But some of the things that we went through, like being homeless together, twice in her life we've been homeless, and that's because, like, before I gave birth, you know what I'm saying, I got pregnant with her, and if I told you the story before, at 17 I really had no one. So it didn't get any better in my adulthood. It really didn't get any better. And I wound up homeless a couple of times and in shelters. And I went through that with her. But when I knew I was making it official with Darnell, that's when I decided to transfer her, because I was making a life with her, with Darnell, and I was pregnant with his daughter at the time, and it was just that time to start, looking for a place to stay and settling down. And a shelter wasn't going to be a place I was going to raise a newborn and my daughter and all that. And plus, we loved each other, and we decided to make a life and a family. And yeah, the rest is still unwritten. But I have a bond with my oldest daughter where she's still somebody I can go to as much as I am someone she could go to. You know what I'm saying? I was 18 going on. I was a month away from 19 when I gave birth to her. And I had to grow up really fast. And she's got to enjoy her life. And I know that she's independent, that she's reliable, that she's a good girl. She's going to do it. She's going to make me proud, because she's always making me proud. And I know I raised a good girl. And that's what you hope for, that you raise your kids to get to this point, to be independent and to do what they're supposed to do. Like, that's what you raise them for. This is the moments you raise them for. And this is the moments you teach them and mold them. And it's just really setting in with me, like, it's about to go down. There's no more talking about what I want you to do for your future. It's happening, And I think I still see that baby. And I know I have to let go of that. But mothers have a special bond with their kids. Like, it's so easy for Darnell to, like, get over it and cut the cord. That's what he just wrote on my Facebook status, like, cut the cord. If only it was that easy. Mothers never cut the cord. You will be 102 years old, and your mother, well, most mothers should still always have that bond with their children. You're carrying them for 9 months. You give birth to them, and you watch them grow into the people that you wanted them to become. Of course, you're going to be proud, but it's not just easy to cut the cord. I will never cut the cord. It's not that easy, and I won't. But I am going to allow her to grow, make mistakes, learn from them, and I just really had to just release this. And I'm going to be documenting it the whole time. You guys will be at the prom, graduation, and seeing her off to college right with me. And I'm going to be an emotional wreck. So I'm pretty much giving you not only a heads up, but I'm also releasing this because, like I said, I don't like stuff bottled up. And even though this isn't going to take the pain away, it's going to help to know that I'm not alone. That's a lot of these videos I've learned that I'm not alone. And I appreciate that. And I guess I'll see you at prom.